got me to enjoy eating lettuce. I know that sounds crazy, but I personally have had a very long and trying history with lettuce. And I'm going to take you back to some of my early childhood experiences. Some traumatic experiences, in fact, where lettuce was at the forefront of my mind and not in a very good way. When I was in first grade, I always did what the teacher told me to do. Very obedient. I was not a rowdy presence in the classroom. But at one point, there was a piece of lettuce sitting on the ground. Must have been during snack time or lunchtime. Teacher was in the room. And the teacher said, "Pick up the piece of lettuce. Pick it up. What's your problem?" Now, what she didn't understand is that I have had a massive gag reflex associated with lettuce for 18 years before recently. And so, looking at that piece of lettuce, I'm like, there's no way I'm picking that up. So she asked me, and I said, no, I'm not going to pick up the lettuce. She said, "Nolan, go pick up the lettuce." And I tepidly began walking toward that piece of lettuce, bending down, reaching over, picking it up. Didn't even make it to the trash can, vomited all over the floor. Now, of course, at that point, I already had negative exposure, negative experience with lettuce. But this experience, this moment in my life, further cemented that relationship, where even the sight of lettuce, I didn't even need to put it in my mouth. I could just walk toward it, touch it, and it would trigger this deep repulsion inside me. And with all of that history, with that level of intensity, how could something like such be overcome? How could simply putting a little bit of a piece of chocolate in my mouth with a touch of psilocybin in it allow me to reapproach the prospect of eating lettuce? There's a lot of scientific research out there talking about psilocybin's capacity to forge new neural pathways. It's one of the very exciting areas of research. How can psilocybin reformulate people's relationship with a wide variety of things? We're not just talking about different types of food. In some cases, we're talking about reestablishing a more healthy relationship with alcohol. We're talking about re-inspiring a love for certain subject matter, reconnecting oneself with nature. This is a powerful thing, but my experience, one of my initial experiences with psilocybin, was this moment where I put a lettuce leaf in my mouth, and I was on the substance, and I remember feeling it around. This is some foreign leaf. Oh, this is kind of weird. That's different. It's kind of nice. Wow, there's a flavor palette I'm not accustomed to. It was as if all of those negative experiences with lettuce, the trauma I had developed as a result of that moment in elementary school, had gone away. I had an opportunity to revisit that state that we often inhabit during childhood, where we're able to experience new things for the first time. Oftentimes, psychedelics are cast off as not practical. There's a lot of practical investigation now going on with how we can use the power of these substances to treat various mental health conditions. But there is still this sense that among the mind-altering substances, especially those that impose various hallucinatory effects, that we are speaking about something that strays from the practical and exists more in the mystical. And for people who have a more logistical connection with the world, don't talk about some enhanced feeling of spirituality, renewed excitement and passion for life. That's a very far out, impractical description. I need examples of a drug that has this effect. It helps treat this condition. To some extent, that's very much what we are like in the West. We're not so into the drugs that are supposedly all-encompassing healers. We're looking for drugs that target a specific deleterious cause and breed a better outcome on that singular variable. Psilocybin isn't like that. The effects that an individual experiences due to psilocybin intake is quite personal. It's hard to pin down, and I think that's made it very difficult to approve from an FDA point of view. More importantly, perhaps, it's made it more difficult to appeal when we're persuading others of the potential revolutionary impacts of these drugs, how we can change people's lives for the better. I know I've had a difficult time at points talking about this subject with other people because I really do want psychedelic medication and its promotion to become a major component of my life. And despite all the progress that's been made, all of the pioneers that are pushing us toward an era where we can speak about this stuff more freely, that isn't always easy. It's not always easy to talk about what I'm doing and what I'm interested in and what I want to accomplish when the contents of that subject for so long have been taboo. But I want to tell this story because I think it's not only quite relatable. We've all had foods that we haven't been a huge fan of. We've all had embarrassing moments. In my case, anxiety over being near a certain food led to me vomiting everywhere in front of not only the teacher, but other students in the class. Definitely not something to be proud of in the moment. But I think when it comes to promoting psychedelic medication, rather than vague language like, I feel healthier, I've developed a more intimate connection with nature, I've been able to invest more time in my external surroundings away from technology. It's more specific to say that before I took psilocybin, I didn't like lettuce. I hated it. I vomited because of it. I had what I thought would be a lifelong gag reflex at the mercy of it. And today, I drizzle a little bit of olive oil on it. More so my fiance does because I don't prepare the salad. She drizzles a little bit of olive oil on it. I gobble it up. It's an amazing change. And I think there could be many examples within the lives of other people where they too can have this magical reformulation of a relationship with a food they once detested.